When it comes to settling or not settling, I truly want you to trust your gut, because it's not all the time where we'll have the information that we need to make a decision. And in those moments, we have to rely on our gut to make the best decision for us. I could have easily settled in that situation because it was good enough. And how often do we receive something that's good enough that we don't think that it could get better? Welcome to the Evolutionofarose podcast, where we are healing, becoming, and evolving together and on our own terms. I'm your host, Meline Rose, and as you can see, I am solo dolo for this episode because we gotta talk, you and me and you. On today's episode, I would love to talk about settling, right? Because when we think of the evolution of a rose, settling has a lot to do with that, with reaching the ultimate point of evolution. And when we think about settling, we think about the major life decisions, right? We think about marriage, we think about purchasing a home, we think about having kids, etc. But we never think about the micro habits that form our daily lives, or at least not me. Until recently, I had to take some personal inventory to recognize why I wasn't reaching my goals or why I wasn't where I desire to be. And upon reflection, I realized it's because I was ultimately settling, right? I was settling in being comfortable and playing it safe. So there's this popular idiom that goes, no risk, no reward, right? And for me personally, I'm not someone that really likes to take risk. I am very, for lack of a better word, well researched before I make any decision. Ultimately, while I have been responsible in that regard, that same thing is what's been keeping me stagnant, because good risk is good for you. You know what I mean? So ultimately, that's what I realized for myself. And speaking of playing it safe, there was actually this one time, recently, where I was dating this guy and I almost settled. Okay. I almost settled in the name of playing it safe. So this guy was everything that I wanted, right? He was tall, he was handsome, he respected me. He seemed like he really liked me. So everything was good. You know what I mean? And when we talk about the 5 love languages, my top 2 love languages are words of affirmation and acts of service. And this guy, unbeknownst to him, without me even telling him, he would deliver these things to me. I really liked this guy and he really liked me. But for some reason, there was something that was holding me back from going all in. I honestly can't tell you what it was or what it is, but it was something. And I remember just having a crash out moment where I'm like, yo, like, what is wrong with me? This guy is almost perfect and you still can't get it right. What is this pattern that you're continuously staying in that you can't break? Oftentimes when we receive something good, right, we are told that good is good enough and that we should accept things as they come. So here is this guy, a good guy that I feel as though I should be receiving, but for some reason I can't receive him fully. And I remember watching this episode of Lovers by Shan, where she had Kennedy Ryan on, where they spoke about love and relationships. And one of the things that they mentioned was, just because it's rare doesn't mean you should settle for mediocre. I'm gonna let that resonate. Just because something is rare, it doesn't mean you should settle for mediocre. So for me, that truly resonated, because while it was rare for me to receive that level of love and affection from a man, to some degree, it was a bit mediocre. And I found myself wanting to settle for that level of mediocrity, right? Because of course it's good. Why not? You know, and ultimately I had to get away from the mentality of, oh, Meline, you're doing too much, or your standards are too high, or what you are seeking is impossible. Here is the thing that you're looking for. But for me, I just knew that this wasn't it. So I say that to say, when it comes to settling or not settling, I truly want you to trust your gut, because it's not all the time where we'll have the information that we need to make a decision. And in those moments, we have to rely on our gut to make the best decision for us. I could have easily settled in that situation because it was good enough. And how often do we receive something that's good enough that we don't think that it can get better? So I almost settled in that situation. And what I've been telling myself now, to lean into more boldness, that it's okay to ask for more, that good isn't always good enough, especially in relationships. So I've truly been leaning into my boldness and also my faith too. Trusting that God didn't place the desires in my heart for no reason, and if they're here, that they will come to pass. And I just want to remind you of the same thing. Don't settle, trust your gut, and if the desire is in your heart, it will come to pass. Okay? Good isn't always good enough. Good isn't always good enough. We want more in this season. Okay? We deserve more. So I actually want to leave off with this rose petal that I found on my phone a few days ago, and it was on the topic of settling. I don't even remember writing the note, but I just stumbled upon it, and it was just like perfect timing and just a stark reminder that it's okay to ask for more. It's okay to want more, because soon enough, that thing will be yours. So I want to read that note to you all. So it's crazy because I wrote this note on December 7th, 2024 at 3:03 a.m. I'm not sure what I was doing up at 3:03 in the morning, but I was up and I jotted this down in my notes. And it says, "Dear my sweetheart, Meline." Y'all, that's how I talk to myself. I'm not gonna lie, that's how I talk, because it just, comforts me. But it says, "Dear my sweetheart, Meline, you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle or lower your expectations, wants, or desires in the name of playing it safe. Go all in and trust God. He wouldn't put the desire in your heart if he didn't want you to have it. This is your season of boldness and witnessing how God moves. Ask, pray, believe, and you will receive. This is your season of new beginnings. Be bold about it. Be excited about it. You deserve it." And I'm not going to share everything else I said because that's too personal. But I closed off by saying, don't settle for anything or anyone, because it will work out. It will. Trust God, believe in God, and trust yourself and your desires. They aren't empty fallacies. And I left with Matthew 8:13. Y'all, I love Matthew. I'm always in the book of Matthew. You can literally get anything from that book. But Matthew 8:13 says, "Then Jesus said to the centurion, 'Go, let it be done just as you believed it would.' And his servant was healed at that moment." So if you believe in healing, if you believe that you will get the desires of your heart, if you believe in becoming, that will be so. So that's just my tidbit for this episode. I hope it encouraged you to never settle and to continue to be okay with asking for more, even when the good enough package shows up. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know about your journey to not settling. Was there ever a moment where you settled or almost settled and regretted it? Is there something that you're working through to not settle? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue this conversation as we continue to heal, become, and evolve together. See y'all in the comments. Bye.